What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a good day today. I know the weather's beautiful outside, and I thought I'd do a little walk around and show you guys my XTERRA. So we're going to go ahead and go from front to back, and I'm going to show you guys everything and just kind of talk about everything for a little bit. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with the front end. As you can see here, I've got everything in the front painted black. So the hood's been painted black with Plasti Dip. This has been on here for about 1.5 years now, and it's held up really well. Still looks good. As you can see, it's a little dirty, needs a wash, but it's held up well. It looks fantastic still. Then we're going to move on to my favorite part right here, the new headlights. These are projector retrofits that I built. I put in about a couple weeks ago. They're fantastic. They look good. You know, they're much brighter than the stock headlights, and overall, I'm just super satisfied with them. So if you guys are interested in how I built these, I'll put a link to that video in the description below, and you guys can check that out. As you can see here, we've got this painted black, and the lower part of the bumper painted black as well. Down here we've got some LED fog lights, and these are off of Amazon. They're Nightlight LEDs, so they're not some name brand or anything like that, but the build quality and the output as far as the light goes is all really good. So if you're looking for something that's not super expensive, these have done really well so far. I've had them on for a month or so now, and they're doing really well. They're holding up fine. So if you're looking for something like that, I'll go ahead and link all my lights and everything in the descriptions below, because most of it is from Amazon, so you guys can check all that out and take a look for yourself. Then we're going to move along up here. As you can see in here, we have our Hella horns. These are the super tones. I've got 2 of them in there. These are a much more metallic sound compared to the stock horn, and they definitely are a little louder. So if you guys are interested in hearing the difference between those two, I've also got a video about that in my on my channel as well, so you guys can check that out. Moving on up to the front up here, we have some more Nightlight pods, as you can see. These are also really nice. The output on these is fantastic. These are the flood light pattern, so they don't disperse light in a spotlight beam. They're all over the place, but the output's really nice, and they're awesome for what I use them for. So these are great. These are just kind of bolted in right here and wired down in there. We've also got this 13-inch off-road antenna, as you can see here, little rubber thing. I got this online as well. I think it looks cool. It's definitely a little lower, a little shorter than the stock one. The only problem that I've found with this so far, I've had this for about 6 months now, the only problem I've had with this so far is that the range for some radio stations is not as good as the taller stock antenna. With that being said, the quality and the clarity when you're in range of stations is the same, if not better, but you just don't get some stations as far of a distance. So that's the only problem I found with that, but for $13 you really can't complain. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the tire and wheel setup we've got going on here. So as you guys can see, these are not stock XTERRA wheels and tires. These are actually, the wheels are off of a Pathfinder. I think it's an 04, kind of that era Pathfinder. So they do still have the Nissan on them right here, which is something that I kind of like. I'm really glad that that does have that. And then I've also Plasti Dipped these black. So this has been on there for I want to say close to 6 months now. As you can see, quality is still pretty good. They're definitely dirty. We did have a snowstorm a couple weeks ago, so they've got some salt and road grime on them. But other than that, the paint job still looks pretty good, so that's good. And then as far as the tires are concerned, these are just some BF Goodrich mud terrains. If they look familiar, it's probably because you see them on a lot of Jeep Wranglers out of the factory. They have these on there, so that's what these are. I like these tires a lot. They're quiet enough on road that it doesn't really bother me, but they're still very capable off road. Yeah, like I said, we just had a snowstorm. They were great in the snow and ice and everything. Didn't have a problem with them. I did read a few reviews that said once the tread wears down, they start to become a little sketchy in the snow and sometimes in the rain and stuff like that. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see for when that happens. But as of now, they're doing great. Another thing about the wheels and tire setup is that I've got 1.5-inch spacers on the front and the rear. It does kind of help give it a little bit of a better stance. It's not too noticeable, which is kind of nice, but it's still prevalent and still kind of there. You can definitely tell it's not a stock setup. I'm not sure if you guys can see in here, But as you can see, right there are the spacers. So 1.5 inches of spacers here. They're definitely nice. A lot of people do say that spacers are bad. It just depends on which kind you get. You know, you got to have nice build quality spacers. You've got to put them on right. You've got to torque them down to the specifications and all that kind of good stuff. But I've had these on here for a while, and like I said, been off-road, been in the snow, been everything like that, and they've held up really well, and I've really liked them. So as far as that all goes, they're good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the car as a whole here. You can see that the theme is green and black, obviously. I've painted all the plastics black as well, so all the trims here, the back, as well as the back bumper has all been painted black, and we'll take a look at that further in just a second. Another thing we've got here is the American flag decals on the sides, just under the mirrors. These are tattered flag pattern, so as you can see, it's it looks like it's ripped up and torn and stuff like that. So these are pretty cool, and they also have the just a regular American flag on here, so we've got to have that. As you can see, up top we have some Hella Rally 500s. We've got 4 of them mounted across the top there, as you guys can see. The covers, I plasti dipped these black as well, just to kind of help accent. They were white. I think it looks a lot better. This is held up pretty well against all sorts of rocks. You can see there's a chip in this one right here, but that'll be an easy fix. So yeah, we've got these up here, and we've got all the pods in the front. So as far as lighting goes, we can see pretty well at night, depending on, you know, the weather conditions and all that good stuff. So continuing on up here, we've got a nice Yakima roof basket up on top behind the lights. This particular one, I also have the spare tire carrier. So I've got this set up right here that allows you to hold a spare tire in the roof rack. And with that being said, we'll go up here, and as you guys can see up in here, this is what the hook on that thing loops to. So we've got that mounted in there just like that. So I can carry a spare tire up in here. I'm just waiting on another wheel to match these ones to mount my other tire on at the moment. So as you can see, the car's been sitting for a little while, so it's definitely got some nasty grime up in there between the doors, but nothing a little rag and soapy water won't fix. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the car. Alright guys, so we're inside now in the cockpit here. And one of the first things you guys can obviously tell is that my steering wheel has been paracord wrapped. I didn't just straight up wrap the paracord around. I did what's called a half cobra stitch, which gives it these little kind of knot looking things right here. I think it's just more of an accent. I think it also helps with the grip a little bit, but I think it's a little cooler pattern than if I had just wrapped straight around. So that's what I've done there. Green, obviously, to match the X, and luckily I was able to find this cord that matches almost perfectly at the local arts and crafts store. So that was good. As far as the functionality of the steering wheel and stuff goes, it's pretty good. It does make the steering wheel a little bit thicker, but that's not a big deal. It does make it easier to grip and everything like that. And the only thing I've found with the problem with this is that when it's really cold outside and everything, and the steering wheel kind of contracts when it's really cold, the cord does get a little loose and twists a little bit. So that's not really a huge deal because I anticipate that, so I don't go ahead and just kind of crank on it, you know, when it's cold like that, and everything stays aligned nice and neat. So we've got that going here. Probably going to end up wrapping my handles here next. As you can see, I've just got a little piece kind of unfinished there, holding just another little flashlight. Another thing, I've done a full LED conversion on all the cabin lights inside. So as you can see, these are LEDs here, as well as these ones are LEDs, these two in the back. The output's much better. It's much brighter in here at night, which is fantastic. The stereo setup, we've got just a basic Sony head unit in here. Nothing too fancy about this. You know, you've got your volume knob over here, your other knob over here. This one does have a bass selector. I do have a sub in the back, so that's kind of what that's for. That was all stuff done before I got the car. So I don't know too much about that other than that it's in there and it works. So we're going to continue on here. We've got my Garmin GPS up here. This is a nice one right here. I've had this for probably a couple years now. I really like it a lot. Since I put these bigger wheels and tires on, my speedometer is no longer exactly accurate. And this has miles per hour on it, and this is accurate within about a mile an hour or two. So I use this a lot of time when I'm driving around just to keep my speed in check, because my speedometer doesn't work exactly like it should. So with that being said, let's go check out the back and the rear seats. So this is the rear seat setup right here. I've got all sorts of junk in here right now. I've got the box for my horns, got my Daykin camera bag, just some gloves and some ratchet straps. But as you can see, this is the back seat. Nothing too special about that. Haven't really done anything back here. We're going to take a look in the back. So we've got seat cushion here. This is just kind of something so I have something to lay on if I need to work on my car on the side of the road for any reason. As you can see, this is the front of my sub here. I think it's a 12-inch. We've got some shovels. I got this for Christmas. Haven't had to use it yet, which is good, but we'll see as the season goes on. I've got my windshield cover reflector. I've got my snow brush and everything like that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the back from the back point of view. As you guys can see, I've done some more plasti dip there, and there, as well as across here. So basically everything on the car, except for the emblem in the front, has been blacked out to give it that look. So here we are in the back. Got all sorts of junk up here in the back. Have a mini action packer here. This is full of all kinds of goodies for whatever I may need. So we have a blanket, hammer, high visibility jacket, safety glasses, an air compressor, some roadside flares, 2 tow straps, some extra rags, just some kind of miscellaneous tools and stuff like that. So that's all in there just in case we need any of that for any reason. And it fits back here nicely, which is something I like. We do have some empty oil containers here. I just recently did an oil change and haven't thrown these things away yet. So we've got that there. We've got some coolant. We've got just an extra mesh bag with some straps and rope in it for, whatever you may need. We have our trailer hitch here. This is a 2-inch ball. I just kind of carry this in the back because I don't want to always have it in the receiver hitch because my shins did not like it being there. This is the amp and the sub, as you can see. Funny story actually. So we have these screws over here, as you can see, and the amp was on the back of the sub, but a couple bumps on an off-road trail took the 2 screws on this side right off. So this is the new place for the amp at the moment. I'm gonna get this fixed here pretty soon, but oh well. Over on the side pocket here, you can see you got an oil filter. Just always good to have one of those for when you're gonna do an oil change next. One thing I did do, these are the kind of hanging brackets that you see up here. I went to the junkyard and found these metal hook ones. I just like the look of these better, and plus they feel a little bit more sturdy. So I got 4 of those and put them here and here on both sides. I'm still waiting for a couple to put up there. So we're going to have to go back and find a couple more of those. But as far as that goes, that's just about everything in the back here. I do have the original XTERRA first aid kit. I went to the junkyard and found this case here. Cleaned it out, soapy water and everything, washed it all out. It's good and clean now. And then I went ahead and put my own first aid kit in there. So I know I've kept up with that and everything like that. I did replace the rear hatch struts a little while ago. They were worn out and wouldn't hold the top anymore. So I just went to the junkyard, grabbed a new set of those, threw them up in here, called it good. I've also still got the cargo cover here. I don't really ever use this, but it is nice to have in the event that I do want to use it. I park somewhere, I don't want people looking in the back to see what I have back here. It's always nice to have that option to cover up your stuff so you don't have wandering eyes where they shouldn't be. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some more exterior features on the car. we're going to go ahead and take a look at these lights down here in the bumper. So these are also Nylite, as you can see. I do like this brand a lot just because it's inexpensive and you get really good quality for that price. You know, these are not rigid, you know, LED lights by any means. They're not that quality, they're not the build quality, they don't have the same brightness, but they're also not the same price. You know, I think for 20 bucks for 2 of these, the light output is fantastic, the build quality is great, and I don't think you can beat it. So basically we've got these as reverse lights. They're not wired into my stock reverse lights just because I didn't want to be blinding people constantly in parking lots and stuff like that. So I just wired them to a switch. Other than that though, they're fantastic. They look really good. And yeah, so then we're going to go ahead down here. We've got the shackle ring here in the tow hitch right now. This just kind of hangs out in here for aesthetic reasons, as well as, you know, just in case I need it. It is winter, so it does snow occasionally, even though it is Virginia, so the snow is only there for a day or two and then it's gone again. But you never know when you might want to have to, you know, pull somebody out. And this is on here with the locking cotter pin, just because I don't want somebody walking up and saying, oh, I like this, and then all of a sudden it's theirs. So we've got that locked in here just like that. Everything's good to go there. Let's take a look at some more features. As far as a lift and everything goes, I don't have a body lift or anything. I've basically just got an 1.5 inch suspension lift by doing what's called the PML. That's poor man's lift essentially. And basically what that means is that you add larger shackles in the rear. As you guys can hopefully see there, these shackles are about twice as long as the original ones. And then in the front, you crank the torsion bars in the front to level out the front end. So that's basically what I've done there. I haven't done anything fancy yet. I'm looking at either a 1 inch or a 2 inch body lift soon, but we're just going to have to see how that goes. So, alright, so let's take a look in here. So as you can see, just a normal XTERRA engine bay with all kinds of wires running through the place. So as you can see, we've got wires running all around for all of our different things. We've got halos and demon eyes in the headlights here. So we've got all sorts of wires for those, as you guys can probably see down in there, and on this side as well. We've got the K&N intake here. I've had this on for. This was the first mod I did when I got the car, so probably closer to 2 years now. But I've loved it. It's been great. It doesn't do horsepower or fuel mileage gains per se. So if you're looking for more horsepower, if you're looking for better fuel economy, an air intake such as this is not exactly the way to go. You will notice a little bit of throttle response and a little bit of stuff like that, but it's not going to give you, you know, 5 miles per gallon more or anything crazy like that. It's not really going to give you any more noticeable horsepower gains. And with that being said, though, it's still a good system. It does have a really good sound, everything like that. It helps the engine breathe a whole lot better. As you can see here, it goes here all the way back. So it definitely helps the engine breathe better. It definitely sounds good and everything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, you know, you can definitely go ahead and look at one of these. If not, you want to do your research and find out what's actually going to give you that more horsepower and everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and look in here. You can see the horns again down in there. They're mounted just like that. Everything else is, you know, pretty self-explanatory. I'd like to eventually get some cheap LEDs to go up in here. So I've got some light in the engine bay at night. I think that'd be kind of cool. So there may be a video about that coming soon, depending on whether or not I actually choose to get those. So with that being said, can't really think of anything else that I've done to the car. This is as it sits at the moment. Definitely think it looks pretty good. A little dirty. My American flag decals, before I forget, were from 8 vs 8 on Amazon. He's got a YouTube channel as well where he shows you how to install the decals and everything like that. So definitely, if you want some cool decals like that, check that out. Other than that, I think we're just about done here. Can't think of anything else that I've done to it. I'll put a link of all the things that I've done to it in the description below in case I've forgotten anything here. You can go ahead and check that out and see what's been done. But that'll do it for this one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and do a thumbs up. And If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. We're gonna have some more coming out here pretty soon. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a listen to the air intake, and we'll call it a day. You guys take it easy.